Welcome to another episode of So Move People, where we explore the vibrant tapestry of music that tells the story of a nation. I'm your host, and today we're moving to the beats of Ghana, where we trace the threads connecting burger highlife, hiplife, and gospel highlife. Imagine the smoky atmospheres of hamburger clubs in the 80s, bustling beach parties in Accra, and the spirited vibrations of Sunday church services. These diverse experiences share one common narrative: the ability of Ghanaians to remix global sounds, celebrating migration, money, and spirituality.
And what a narrative it is. But before we dive deeper, let's define some key terms. Highlife music, a genre that originated in Ghana, marries traditional melodies with Western musical elements like jazz and swing. It became an undeniable soundtrack to social gatherings. Now, burger highlife is a subgenre that evolved when Ghanaians migrated abroad, especially to Germany, and fused their classic highlife sound with disco rhythms and electronic beats. Fascinating stuff, right?
Absolutely. The concept of burger highlife came about in the early 80s when Ghana faced an economic crisis that compelled many artists to migrate to places like Hamburg. The city became a melting pot for cultural exchange, right? Musicians used drum machines, synthesizers, and the glitzy production aesthetic of disco, creating a fresh sound that resonated with Ghanaians living abroad. The so-called burger artists were those who had long been immersed in this cosmopolitan blend, producing lyrics that explored themes of romance, pleasure, and the struggles of migrants trying to balance their identity back home with their lives abroad.
That's a great point. As these artists performed abroad, their music began trickling back to Ghana through cassettes and videos. It quickly captivated urban youth, especially at vibrant disco scenes in Accra. Icons like Daddy Lumba began to emerge, challenging societal norms with songs that sometimes sparked controversy, much to the delight of youth who resonated with the themes. It's interesting to see how the art becomes a reflection of the changing cultural landscapes back home.
Indeed. But while burger highlife was generating waves, something fascinating was brewing back in Ghanaian churches that would soon change the landscape of music yet again. As the 80s rolled in, neo-Pentecostal and charismatic movements gained traction, transforming worship practices by adopting highlife rhythms and making them an integral part of church services. This birthed a new genre called gospel highlife, which blended the sacred with the secular, aligning well with the economic realities where churches began offering professional musicians promising work opportunities.
This melding of genres began to showcase the power of music as a form of ministry. Gospel highlife captured a significant share of the music market by the 90s, with women gaining visibility as stars, thus reshaping gender roles in commercial music. Artists expressed themes of salvation, testimony, and prosperity through inviting melodies, which resonated deeply during a time of economic hardship. One could say that music became a form of solace, a vehicle for hope and communal upliftment.
You hit the nail on the head. Gospel highlife became more than just music. It became a lifeline during trying times. And then as the 90s progressed, the excitement of modernity and global influences paved the way for another dynamic genre, hiplife. This hybrid style emerged as Ghanaian youth turned to American hip-hop and Jamaican dancehall, adopting the fashion, slang, and attitude. Hiplife artists fused those influences with local rhythms, leading to a raw, expressive genre that resonated particularly with urban youth, what we now know as the yo-yo boys culture.
And those yo-yo boys were anything but dull. They created a vibrant nightlife that paralleled the beats of hiplife. Pioneers like Reggie Rockstone paved the way for hiplife to flourish. Using languages like Twi, Ga, and even Pidgin English, he layered narrative onto those strong drum machine grooves, bringing nightlife, hustle, relationships, and politics into public discussions through his lyrics. Hiplife soon became a symbol of modernity, a unique way for younger generations to assert their identity and express themselves. And boy, did it ruffle some feathers.
It sure did. Older generations and conservative groups often criticized hiplife for its lewd and violent depictions, drawing parallels with gangsta rap imagery from the United States. Yet, all this controversy only heightened the genre's intrigue among the youth, fostering a divide that made hiplife a declaration of sorts, a means for young people to mark their distance from tradition and the old-fashioned highlife. The debates were rich, resulting in cultural dialogues surrounding morality, identity, and generational conflict.
And as the 2000s rolled in, the Ghanaian music scene further diversified. Artists began experimenting more, with blends of contemporary highlife surfacing alongside rap and gospel themes infused with club beats. It's an era of musical experimentation, lit up by television band shows and music competitions, rekindling the public's interest in traditional highlife performed live. It's quite breathtaking to witness, a culture continually evolving while tackling pertinent questions like, what does it mean to be modern while respecting traditions? What is the role of youth, yet again, in this conversation?
That's a critical point. Songs that once seemed to echo societal ties have now become expressive canvases, addressing sex, money, faith, and politics. They open public arenas for discussions on gender norms and expectations. In essence, as we listen, each lyric becomes a vessel for critique and exploration of conscience in Ghanaian culture. And remember, folks, music is more than just entertainment. It's a digital archive of migration stories, church revivals, and youth rebellion. When we look at Burger Highlife, Gospel Highlife, and Hiplife, we are seeing how deeply interconnected these sounds and stories are.
Absolutely. Listen up, everyone. As we wrap up this episode, we invite you to really think about the music you hear, not just as entertainment, but as profound expressions of culture and experience. Pay attention to the playlists of Burger Highlife, Gospel Highlife, and Hiplife. Notice how they each carry traces of Hamburg's discotheques, the energy of Accra's chapels, and the lively rhythms found in rap ciphers on Ghana's streets. So, join us next time as we keep unearthing the beats, stories, and histories that move communities and shape nations. We'll be back with more Rhythm and Tales.